So you've typed something into an AI tool, hit submit, and got your answer. Job done, right? Well, not quite. What many people don't realise is that closing the chat window doesn't necessarily mean your data is gone. A lot of AI tools will store or log what you've typed, and in some cases, real people may review those conversations to help improve the system. That means anything you share, whether it's a client's name, a financial figure, or personal detail, could be retained well beyond that single session. And here's the thing, it varies enormously from one tool to the next. Some platforms have quite strict data policies, others are far more relaxed about what they keep and for how long. So before you start typing sensitive information into any AI tool, it's really worth understanding what actually happens to your data once you press that button. So when you type something into an AI tool, what actually happens to that information during processing? Most people assume it just disappears once they close the window, but that is rarely the case. Behind the scenes, quite a lot is going on. For a start, your input is held temporarily on the provider's server while it's being processed. Providers also tend to log your sessions, which means there's a record of your activity. In some cases, staff at the company can review queries internally for safety or quality purposes. Now, this doesn't mean you should panic, but it does mean you need to be aware. The good news is that many tools offer privacy settings that can change how your data is handled, though you need to actively look for and configure those options. Here's something that surprises a lot of people when they first hear it. Many AI systems are designed to learn and improve over time, and they do that by studying real conversations from real users, which could include yours. What you write, the way you phrase things, the details you share, can potentially be used to train future versions of the system. Think of it like teaching a very attentive student. The more interactions the AI has, the more it picks up on your patterns, preferences, and the kinds of responses that seem to work well. Your words, your questions, even your specific phrasing can become part of the training data that shapes how the model behaves, not just for you, but potentially for everyone who uses it in the future. Now here's where things get particularly concerning from a privacy perspective. While some data processing is temporary, the incorporation of your inputs into training data can be permanent. It's not like a search engine that forgets your query after a moment. The AI may hold onto your patterns from your input long after the session has ended, and in some cases, even if you delete your chat history, that information may already be baked into the model. This means if you've shared anything sensitive, there's a real possibility that information has been stored somewhere you have no visibility of or control over, and traditional deletion requests may not remove it from the AI's learned knowledge. Let's talk specifically about the corporate risks here, because this is where things can get really serious for businesses. When employees share client names, financial figures, or confidential project details with AI tools, that information doesn't stay within your organization's walls. It can end up as part of the AI's training data, potentially accessible to anyone who knows how to prompt the system in the right way. We've seen cases where sensitive business information has inadvertently been exposed through AI interactions. This isn't just about personal privacy anymore, it's about competitive intelligence, client confidentiality, and regulatory compliance. Many industries have strict requirements about data handling that could be violated by casual AI use. So now that we understand the risks, let's talk about what you can actually do to protect yourself. The good news is that a few simple habits can make a real difference. First, take a few minutes to explore the privacy settings within any AI tool you use regularly. Many of them offer options to limit how your data is used, and some will let you opt out of having your conversations used for training purposes altogether. Try to avoid putting personal details into AI tools unnecessarily. If you can phrase your question in a more general way and still get a useful answer, do that instead. And when you finish the session, delete the chat history if that option is available. Small steps like these add up, and they put you back in control of your information. Let's be absolutely clear about what should never go into AI tools. Passwords, authentication codes, or any login credentials should never be shared, full stop. The same goes for real names, addresses, phone numbers, or contact information unless absolutely necessary for the task. Instead of using actual business data, get into the habit of using test information or made-up examples that still let you get useful results. Before you start using any new AI tool, spend a moment checking what the default privacy settings are, because they're rarely set to the most protective option. And for particularly sensitive tasks, consider whether you really need to use an AI tool at all. or whether an offline alternative might be safer. So let's bring everything together with a practical action plan. I want you to audit the AI tools you're already using and see where you can tighten up your data sharing settings. Before you start using any AI tool going forward, have a quick read of the privacy policy. I know that sounds a bit dry, but it genuinely is important. Establish clear personal guidelines about what types of information never get shared with AI systems and stick to them. If you manage a team, make sure everyone understands these principles, because one person's casual AI use could put your entire organization's data at risk. The core thing to remember is this: when you type something into an AI tool, assume it could be stored and used in ways you didn't intend. Plan accordingly.